Look at this. It's so funny. I can't believe I'm in this game. That's so ludicrous. Okay. Transition. I'm going to move my webcam forward so we can talk about this. Bam. All right, yeah. So I'm in Cyberpunk. That's the thing. That's the goof. So you're probably saying to yourself, Jesse, what is going on here? Basically, I've known the CD Projekt guys forever, and as long as I've had my career, they were the first company ever, truthfully, the first company ever to even interact with me. When I first started on YouTube almost 10 years ago, we are a few days away from 10 years. Wow. So almost 10 years ago when I first started, they were the first company to ever approach me. Is when I did a Witcher 2 playthrough, and they were like, do you want to come to Poland? And I was like, what? Poland? They're like, yeah. And they were the first ones ever. I went to Poland, and I loved it. I hung out with the dev team, and I made a lot of friends who I love to this day. I have never in my life met so many good people. And ever since then, I've been truly just, I'm controlled by big CD Projekt. Big Poland runs my life. I am in Witcher 3. I am now in Cyberpunk. It's crazy. I don't know how to describe how awesome it feels, but I will say this to you. My quest is easily findable. Much like in Witcher 3, everything you can see on the map when you go to the big map, there are question marks and exclamation points and things to find, and I am one of those. So you can easily find me. It's not like you're gonna miss me. Although what we played may not be the final build. I have no clue. So once I popped up on the screen, I was like, oh my god, I gotta go check this out. There are emails that exist where I was like, guys, am I in the demo? Oh no, I don't know that I like this because, reporters and stuff are gonna see it, and what if I suck? What if I voice that? It's my voice, me, in the game. It is. I was like, oh no, what if my voice sucks? And what if I'm terrible at this and people hate it? What if it? Well, apparently they don't, and it feels really good. So I'm pleased. I'm very pleased. I will simply say, my character has a problem, and he needs your help. And what you choose to do is up to you. Really, what you choose to do is up to you. I'll let you be the arbiter of that. So, you can let me in your car if you want. You can drive around with me. And in the car, you can go into first person mode, so you and I can be in the car together. And if you want to pretend that we're smooching, I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm not going to tell you not to pretend we're smooching. All right, let's go through this really quickly. We're going to beep, 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 beep. It might even help to slow it down, but that seems weird. Maybe we'll see. All right. So we're going to go through it. I'm going to pause and we're going to talk. And if you have questions, hit me up. I got answers for you. I have many answers. I have played a ludicrous sum of this game. And hopefully I can tell you more. Okay. And go. All right, right away. Right away. I'm going to try and move the image so that it's more in the center too, because I guess there's black bars at the top, so that's fine. This city is huge. Night City is what years it take place. Strangely enough, 2076 is weird. No, 2077. This is a big ass city. I will simply say that I'm not sure exactly how much you can delve into Night City, but what you definitely can do is go into some of the tall buildings. I'm not sure you can go into all of them. I do not know that. But while I was going around, I was like, all right, they ain't going to build a big ass city with a bunch of tall buildings and then make it just background. I got to look. you can just scoot yourself right into some of those, and sometimes the people are like, no, bro, don't come in. And sometimes you're climbing stairs and checking out, apartment complexes and stuff, and there's people walking around, and there's one time I was walking by a hallway vending machine, and this guy was like roughing up this girl, and I used the vending machine as a distraction. He's like, what the hell? Because I hacked the vending machine, and it started making noises. He's like, what the hell? And I came up behind him and choked him out, and I was like, thanks, lady. Wait, no, I was like, you're welcome, lady. I didn't say thanks. I was like, you're welcome, lady. And she looked at me and was like, and ran away, and it was great. So we'll see how good I am at being helpful in the future. Milady, you're welcome. I choked that man out. And then she ran. She was like, get out and walk the city. It's like walking through every major city you've ever walked through, where you're like, holy crap, this place is out of control. I know that during the live stream, I asked the CD Projekt devs if it was as big as Los Santos. They wouldn't compare it to anything, but it is big. I don't know. I'm sure the internet will do that job for us in comparing them, but it's a big city. Night City's huge. It has 7 districts. I think like the 7th is like the barren wasteland outside the city. For those of you who don't know, Night City is basically like, it's essentially future LA, but it's not in LA. I think it's supposed to be in Northern California, I think is where it's supposed to be. But I could be wrong. But it's supposed to be like future LA, but it's, not actually LA.
Love this town.
Yeah, so this is like the view from below. What I was talking about, as you're walking through, it's like, holy crap. Someone in chat asked if you can fly. I don't think, here's the thing, I don't know. I know that at the beginning, if you choose a corpo, right? So there's 3, all right, let me break this down. When you first log in, you can create your character, your V, right? So you have the V you want to create, and the character creation is out of control. If you want to make the weirdest Animorph, you can do that. If you want to make the coolest looking dude or dudette, you can do that. If you want to make like you in the game, you can do that. For some reason, I was on with the dev. I was on with the dev while we were playing it, and I was trying to make my character the coolest looking dude ever. I ended up making Walton Goggins. I don't know, it wasn't what I was trying to do. I ended up making this guy. I don't know why, but this is what my character looked like when I was done. And I couldn't figure out, it wasn't intentional. It wasn't that I wanted it to happen. I just kept goofing around with all the controls, and in the end, I got Walton Goggins. And what is this photo? Walton, what is this photo? So it was so strange. Yeah, he kind of looked like this is what my character looked like. This is my character. So imagine when I talk about the rest of the game. Imagine this is what I'm discussing. Imagine that's who I'm playing as when you imagine me playing this game. So yeah, let me see if I can tell you about the options. When it comes to hair, there were like 40 some options for hair. When it comes to skin color, there were a ton of options. When it comes to teeth, oh my god, there were teeth options. Teeth options. I've never seen that in a video game before. There were teeth options. It was wild. What else was there? There was for those of you, I'm sure this is what you really care about. There was nipple options. There was ding dong options. You could put whatever. Look, you could put whatever genitalia you want on your body and enjoy. There was options for scarring and various hair and tattoos and cybernetics and all sorts of different things. There were all sorts of different options. It was really cool. Once you're done making your character, You then go into a thing that's like, okay, you have 3 starting choices. You can either be a nomad, and a nomad is a person who lives on the outskirts of the city. It's kind of like what I imagine people who like, if there was, it's like Mad Max, right? It's kind of like Mad Max where they're on the outskirts and they're like living one day at a time and they're fighting for survival, right? That you're a nomad. Then there's the street kids, and street kids are it's almost like the Ready Player One-ish, like living in boxes on top of each other and kind of always, like this image, always looking up at the rich and not really having anything in your stories, like you're trying to make a big score. And then you can play a corpo. And a corpo is essentially you're a rich MFer working for one of the corporations. And that's what I chose. I was like, I got to see what this is like. The scenario you start with literally involves you flying over the city. So you get to, for people who are wondering if you can fly, that's what this whole thing got us to. If you're wondering if you can fly, it's potentially possible because in the corpo scenario, you literally fly over the city. So, it's very, very possible. And each of those 3 tracks, right? The corpo, the street kid, or the nomad, when you play through them, you unlock options. So, you have options based off, like if you're a corpo, you are like kind of a snotty ass. And so you kind of just expect the finer things in life, but you also have access to that information. You know about high society and the corporations, and you know how to deal with other corporate people, right? If you're a street kid, you know how to like make your way in the streets underground, and and then if you're a nomad, you know how to get around and like find what you need to survive. And it opens up options. When you are done selecting one of those 3, you then build a loadout of your character, and the loadout is straight up like you're playing an RPG. You have your like tech and your strength. I'm trying to remember the exact wording. I don't want to screw those up, but you have like, if you were playing the tabletop version of Cyberpunk, it would be that information. And then you go in and you buff those skills. What I did is I did cool. I buffed my cool to 6. I think cool is supposed to be your charisma. I buffed my cool to 6 and my tech to 6. And I think I spent 1 more point somewhere else, but I was basically like the cool tech nerd Walter Goggins. And I went around, and the whole point is I was trying to be like, they said that cool opens up additional talking options. At least that's what the thing, it said cool opens up additional talking options, and tech will allow me to hack different things. So basically I wanted to like talk my way through stuff and then get into rooms and hack everything around it. And so what I ended up doing, which is really cool, I remember this vividly because it's awesome. I went into a room and I talked my way into the door, right? I was like, please, I've been here before. I'm one of you. Like, I'm one of you. It doesn't even matter. Let me in the room. So I walked in the room and saw there was a camera. In the top corner, and I like hacked into the camera, and the camera showed me the other side of the room behind the like pillar that I was. And on the other side of the room, there were 2 guards sitting there at a door. And I hacked one of the guards, so like a transmitter went off, like, there's a problem. And the other guard next to him was like, what's the problem, dude? And then I made the grenade on his chest explode. And I killed both of them. It was amazing. And I just like walked in like, all right, problem solved. So yeah, you can change your character stats. Then deeper into that is each one of those things like tech or cool or whatever. When you level up to get points to put into that. And the points you put in unlock abilities within those trees. And you can play however you want to play. Some of those abilities allow you to be like a cool talker. Some of those abilities allow you to be like under pressure. If there's some moments in the game where like if someone's in your face, a little bar starts ticking down of like, you got to react right away. You have to do a thing. And what it does is it gives you a little more time to make a choice, right? And sometimes not making a choice is cool. When I was playing as a corpo, in the initial scenario, when playing as a corpo, that ship you're in, you're going to the Lizzie's bar, right? The Lizzies are a big starting area faction. The Moxie crew You land your ship because you can't find a parking space. You land it on a basketball court, and a bunch of guys playing basketball come up to you like, "What the fuck? What are you doing?" And they get right in your face. And the bar on mine started ticking out real quick, and it was like, "What do? Do you fight these guys?" And I was like, "No, man, I'm a corpo." So I let it tick down all the way, and my guy just got out and completely ignored them and was like, "Guard the ship." And I was like, "Damn." And I was like, "Oh man, I love that you can do that stuff." That's my favorite stuff in games, where you can just not be forced into a decision and it leads to another decision. I love that stuff. I was like, yeah. Your clothes give you stats. You can change everything about the way you look, like masks and jackets and pants and shoes and all that stuff. The store system is very similar to Witcher Wild Hunt. It's the two like half screens, and the person only has so much money, and you can sell stuff to them and buy stuff for them, but they only have so much. There will be naked runs. Oh, for sure. Although I don't think you'll actually be naked. You probably will have like a t-shirt or something on. I don't know, because I didn't see an underwear option when you take off your clothes, but who knows. What else? Guns have different stats. What about Judy? I'll get to Judy. Judy's great. Judy's so cool. All right. So anyway, this is the like ground level look. All right. Let us continue.
The city of endless opportunity.
So that's Lizzie's bar, and that's the symbol of the Moxies. If you can see my cursor, that's the Moxie symbol. The Moxies are like streetwise sex workers with, they don't take shit from nobody, and they, Lizzie was their like founder of the Moxies, and they're sort of like a badass gang. It's very Sin City. You're absolutely right. And so, yeah, they run this bar, and it's a bar you go to as a corpo. I don't know if you go there as a nomad or as a street kid, but as a corpo, it's one of the first things you do. You go there and you land on, you can't see it, but you land on a basketball court nearby, and this is how it starts with you.
Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come on.
There's Jackie. We'll go back to Jackie for a hot sec. He's like your wingman. Jackie and what is the lady's name? Jackie, I want to say like T-Bug is the girl's name. You're the two main characters that you work with already are Jackie and T-Bug. Jackie is kind of like your running gun best friend, and T-Bug is your hacker friend. And T-Bug don't care about nothing but, keeping herself safe. Every time you're on a mission with T-Bug, she's like, yeah, all right, just, Jesus, you're terrible. It's great. Her voice actress is incredible. I love it. Jackie is with you for most of what I played and leads you on the starting missions and quests of how you sort of learn about the world. Is there a way we can transmog equipment to look the way we want? Great question. You can equip modules. I don't know if they're actually called modules. You can equip things to your weapons to change them. The look, I do not know. But you can modify your weapon to make it play the way you want it to play, if that helps. And you can modify your body to play the way you want to play your weapons. So if you have a certain way that you like to play the game, or certain sights, or certain, like, you can change your body. You can be a 90% robot in this thing if you want. Will we see stock prices at the Corpo guys beginning scene? You 100% will. I'm not even joking. When you're in the flying craft, right? In your eye, you see the Corpo guy because Jackie speaks a lot of Spanish. So when you talk to Jackie, for example, it translates it. When you are looking at things, we'll show you like stock price ticker in the corner. Oh yeah, it's fascinating. Let's keep going. Yeah, here's another big scene of the city. You notice there's like a monorail thing going around. There are highways. How's melee combat? Great. So the way the game plays is it's first person. It has that FPS art. It's an FPS RPG sci-fi. It's like every acronym you could possibly want is in this game. It's an adventure game with stealth mechanics, with it's crazy. It's sort of like a Deus Ex. I was about to say Outsider, but that's not the name of the game. Dishonored is the name of the game. Almost BioShocky, almost Fallout. There's a combat tutorial early on, and while there are some enemies that have armor, if you kill them the right way, the armor's pointless. Does that make any sense? Like, if you stab them between the armor don't matter all that much. So, there's different combat mechanics. So there's fist fighting. There's a fist fight tutorial. I never fist fought because I tried to like use my mind to kill people, but there's a fist fighting tutorial where you can block and then you can hold down and then do a hard punch, and then you can do like quick punches. There is a melee combat tutorial where you can use your sword to block, you can use your sword to attack, you can do hard attacks. There is a gun mechanic tutorial where you can go in and learn about all the different types of guns and how they all work, and no one was a bullet sponge. You know what it is, though? What they do have? They do have the red skulls. So if you remember in Witcher 3, the game's very CD Projekt. If you remember in Witcher 3, there were some areas where it was like, are you sure you want to go in here? Because this guy could probably kick your ass. That's here. They warn you in advance of like, this guy will hurt you badly. And they will. It isn't... I don't know if they are bullet sponges at higher levels. What I do know is that they one-shot killed me. I do know. I was driving around on the highway trying to find a mission. I saw a question mark on the map, and I was like, all right. So I was driving around on the highway. This is how I drive, apparently. I was driving around on the highway, and I saw a question mark, and I was like, oh, I'll go that way. As I went that way, there were the orange caution barrels. They were like, don't come this way, something's happening. And I drove by a cop car, and a robot cop was like, this is a crime scene, move away. And I just drove by him. It was like, it's fine. Drove by him, and I parked in front of, all right, I didn't park. I ran over a dead body and like parked in the middle of a crime scene, and all the cops were like, what? And they all started shooting at me. I was like, I'm driving away. And my car just exploded. I learned some valuable lessons that day, and yeah, it was an event. Crime solved. But I think I'm not willing to say that it has the same mechanic as Grand Theft Auto, but it does have a mechanic where if you alert the cops will try to find you. Like, they will put out like at all points bulletin for your ass. So, are there any really cool boss fights you can talk about? I fought a guy, but I don't think he was a boss. I think he would just hit really hard, and so I tried to like hide from him, but he very well could have been a boss. But he just seemed like a tough dude who shot me for a lot of damage, and I was like, oh no! So I kept hiding from him because like I said, I built my character around being able to hack and being able to talk my way through stuff. So when you know me, you know how I play video games. I always want to sneak through a room. And I tried to sneak through a room and was like, oh, easy. I'm going to sneak up on this guy and choke him out. And as I went to go grab him, he turned around and was like, bring! And everyone in the room was like, what the fuck? And they all started shooting at me. And so I tried to kill all these guys to avoid getting... And Jackie's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know anymore, Jackie. And so we got in a gunfight, and there was one guy with a giant gun that kept like wrecking me, and I was like, well, shit. So, it happens. All right, let's continue this.
City like any other.
This right here is, I'm not sure what it's called. I don't know if it's Little Tokyo, but the whole premise of this area, which is really neat, is that it is essentially an area where I think used to be where Japanese immigrants were at, and then Chinese immigrants, like the Japanese immigrants left, and then Chinese immigrants moved in, so it's like multiple layered. It's so neat. It's so cool. The sort of like morphing of those two cultures in this area. I thought that was really dope. It's very interesting, and yes, I would expect a lot of if I know CDP, there's gonna be a lot of like anime goofs in that area. Katanas confirmed? Oh hell yes. Oh hell yes. You can get katanas built into your damn hands. Trust me, it's so neat. Okay.
Just bigger.
What the hell was that? So this looks like you. Alright, so he has a Moxie shirt on. So I'm going to assume this is your character fixing a broken nose. Something must have happened. I don't know what that is. That looks like Christopher Lee? Famed? Is that Count Dooku? Who is that right there? Count Dooku? This is the Street Kids beginning scene? That makes a lot of sense. I didn't see this, so it makes perfect sense. I love how the mirror is all teched out. I think that's cool.
Bigger.
Ooh. Yeah, so when you driving is, at least from what I can tell, the only time you can go third person. When you drive, there are 3 views. There is driving, like I'm in the car. There is just slightly outside the car, and then there's this view where you're like further back out of the car. And you'll notice that this car he's driving is not the main car you start with. In fact, any of those cars you see on the screen, you can just steal those things. Does driving feel good? It feels like every other driving game that I suck at driving. I'm the last person to ask. Driving could feel wonderful, and I could still crash into a tree. I am terrible. But the way it works is, unlike Grand Theft Auto, you know how in GTA you can like drive down the road, jump out your car, go grab a person, break into that car, throw the person on the street, and keep going? In this game, breaking into cars, unless the car is like parked without any sort of lock mechanism, it requires a behind the scenes dice roll. There are times where you can't, like, if someone's in the car and I don't know, they're tougher than you or you're weak compared to like the state of the art car, they'll look at you and be like, what are you trying to do? So I love that. But if you're strong enough, you can literally rip the car door off. You can just rip the car door off, and then they'll be like, and then you can just pull them out, which I love. I love if you're just like a big tough robo man. You're just like, let me into your car. I think that's pretty cool. Let's continue. Can I be an anime? Yes. Oh my god. When I did the random roll in character creation, there's some anime ass characters. You can be whatever you want in this future. Can you hack cars? I don't know. Of all the things I didn't do, I didn't try to hack a car.
No, mano.
So this is from the inside. This is from the inside of the car that you're driving. It looks like you're in the back seat, probably during one of the cutscenes of some sort. Because I don't know, unless I was in a cutscene or an event, I was never in the back seat. I was always in one of the 2 front seats. So
Not just any other.
these are probably some Moxies beating the shit out of John.
Legends.
Is that woman wearing plastic leggings? Could be. She's got 2 robot arms, it looks like. This could be all robo. How do you know? Her eyes definitely appear to be cyborg implants.
Are born here.
Yeah, this is the interior of Lizzie's. These people right here are jacked in to the brain dances. Brain dance, that's what they talked about on the Night City Wire. Brain dances are interactive videos, we'll say. It's the real life memories of a person. BDs, as they're called. They're the real life memories of a person that then you live through that person's reality. So basically, you are, in this case, it very well could be porn. It could be a lap dance. It could be whatever, right? It's everything you could imagine. It's an action film. It's a romance novel, a comedy movie, or you going to the moon. It can be you. Yeah, it can be a video game. It can literally be a video game. All right, so you can see that Jackie has not only the craziest Final Fantasy VII jacket there ever was. This is definitely a character from Final Fantasy VII, but he also has all of these implants in him for things I don't know. I don't know what they do exactly, but he's got them.
The major leagues.
This lady, don't know her, never met her. I imagine she's either in the Street Kid or the Nomad intro, because they said all this footage in this trailer was from the first 2 hours of the game. So I don't know what this is from, but bless her sweet soul, she is giving you those eyes.
We're only here because Dex is pulling the strings.
That guy. This guy is either having the best time or the worst time. I do not know. I wish him well. I hope whatever's going on with this guy, it is great. Whatever's happening, I hope it's good.
Strings. Doubt that.
This is one of the BDs. This is you looking at something. I would assume this is you gathering information about how to best mess with this client.
That puts us in the same league as that.
Yay, there's Judy. I will simply say that so there's, as a corpo, I don't know how it starts anyway else, but the minute you come to the bar as a corpo, you go there to meet let me see if I can see her in this trailer.
But we are. They just
You go there to meet.
But if you got the cojones,
Hold on, we'll rewind a little bit.
you can do damn near anything.
Oh, that's where she is. So you go to meet her, and she is the your contact when you're a corpo. You go to meet her there, and she's cool because she has gold fingertips, which is, I don't know what I like. The fact that she has gold fingertips is like out of control. I don't know why that's the thing that sets me over the edge, but I'm like, I love that about this character. Her fingers are gold. It's ridiculous. So anyway, she is like, all right, here's the score. We need to go brain dance to figure out this guy's room layout, I believe is what we had to do. And so and she's like, I know his room layout because I've been in his room. Wink. And you're like, girl, all right then. And so she takes you down to see Judy, and let me see if I can find this scene for you. Here's the thing, this might be her in the room. I don't know. Maybe this is the scene of her in the room. I don't know. But anyway, she takes you to meet Judy, who sets you, like, basically Judy and T-Bug work together to set up your brain dance, like, synchronization, I guess is the best way to describe it, so that you know how to work a brain dance. It's the tutorial. It's the brain dance tutorial, basically. And you know how to do it, and so she takes you through. If you saw the Night City Wire, that scene where it's the two guys robbing the convenience store, that's the tutorial for it. She takes you through it. She teaches you how to, scan the brain dance for information and look at different things and discover the secrets hidden within each person's memory. So right there, that's the lady from the scene I previously showed you. Her right there. She joins you, and the entire time as Judy's like setting you up, she's over there like, come on, hurry, we don't have a lot of time, Judy, that kind of thing, and she paces around the room. I will say, the way you get to this scene is so effing cool. All right, so let me see if I can take us back. When you go in, you meet her at the bar, and you have this like weird flirtatious thing with her where you can like ask her what she's doing there and why she wants to talk with you and what the score is and that kind of thing. Because basically she is running this op, right? But she needs to meet someone from your team. And Jackie, they don't want to send Jackie because he has no like real, he can't, interact with people well. And they don't want to send T-Bug because T-Bug does not talk to other people. And so you are forced to go. And when you get there, you have this conversation with her, and you like work your way down through this entire club, like in a Blade Runner or in a movie where they like, you feel like you're in that moment of you're in a club where you're like, should I be here? This doesn't feel right to me. Right? And as you're going through, you get to like the seedier and dirtier parts of the club, and you can hear like weird noises, and you're like, what the hell? The entire time I was like tingly. It was so cool. I was in it. This scene got me. I was in it. And then you sit down in this chair, and Judy is like, just waifu central. So she starts talking to you, and then you have this other lady in the background, and the whole scene I was like, I think I love this game. Did I play controller, mouse, or keyboard? I was allowed to play on mouse and keyboard, but all of the menu prompts were for controller. So I assumed there were a lot of controller players, and needless to say, it's the reason why I went hacking, because there's no way I can shoot on a controller to save my life. I simply can't do it. So I went hacking because I was like, at least I know I'm not going to get into a lot of firefights because I'm bad at it. So when it comes out on mouse and keyboard, I'll probably go a different path and shoot up a lot more stuff. But yeah, so this whole scene I was in it. From the moment I got into, was there an FOV slider? I went to the menus, but there was a limited menu. I cannot tell you. There were certain things we could change. There were certain things we couldn't. Like, obviously, I couldn't go in and figure out what the keyboard and mouse settings were because it was tuned for a controller play. So, I would assume so, right? Anyway, yeah, so this whole Judy section was amazing. I was in the moment. I was in it. I couldn't believe how much I enjoyed it. Okay. Continuing on.
It's them, but we are. They just don't know it yet.
So this guy right here, the guy you just saw, is your Ripper Doc. Ripper Docs are the dudes who rip your body apart and put some dope-ass things there. If you watched the original playthrough they did from E3 a while ago, this is where V goes in the beginning of the game, because after an incident occurs where you jack yourself into a thing and, some stuff happens, you go to the Ripper Doc in order to repair yourself. And this is where the scene that I think is one of the dopest scenes. I'm going to use the word dope a lot, even though I definitely shouldn't. They take out your eyeball and you see yourself from your own. It's so cool. I love shit like this. I love it. It is the best. I love weird techie stuff where he's like, all right, put your arm in here. And you put your arm in this machine here and it like starts at your flesh. Oh, it's so cool. Anyway, continuing on.
But if you got the cojones.
So there's a cop car. Clearly someone stole the cop car. That's a character I do not know. Didn't meet them, but looks like he is going to run at you with a baseball bat. So
Dude, damn.
There are the ladies who run the front of the club. I had to talk to this girl and convince her to let me in. I went up to her and was like, yo, lady, let me in your bar. And she was like, do I know you? And I was like, I've been here before. And she was like, oh, well, all right. Anyway, continuing. This lady, I think she's trouble, but I was like, I'm in. Whatever mission you got, I'm in. Cops.
Unless you catch a bullet.
That guy exploding. Yeah, so like, don't mess with these guys.
Even then, you go out with a bang, right?
Jackie is incredible. Most of the time, hold on. Most of the time you meet him, he's eating. He's either eating or drinking. Most of the time, he's always like doing a thing. I love this character. He is always, this scene where you meet him outside, he is like, incredible. This is a great character. All right, continuing on. This is the scene. When you land your ship as a corpo, you land on a basketball court. This is the basketball court. I decided to walk past them. I ignored them. I was like, please, I'm way more important than you, and walked by them. But I think in this trailer they show you what happens if you fight them.
More Eddies as a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
Yo, Mr. V, a pleasure.
So what's the game?
So this guy, oh my lord. Dexter Deshawn is his name. Thank you. Yes. He sets you up on your main quest. He's like, basically, we're looking for a thing. Don't worry about it. It ain't that big a deal. I need you to be involved. And it's his storyline that starts you on the adventure. It's pretty interesting. Is there a romance storyline? Great question. Maybe. I don't know. I know there are romantic options, but is there a romance storyline? I don't know. I have no clue. But yeah, this guy definitely totally not going to betray you. For those of you, I think this is widely known, but I'll just say it again. The conceit of the story of this game is that people are looking for this thing that is essentially a chip that leads to the secret of immortality. And we all know things like that are a monkey paw. Whatever it is, it's going to be bad. Whatever it is, it's going to be bad. So that's kind of what this is all leading to.
So
this is the Badlands. I wasn't there. Couldn't tell you what's going on. Will Siri show up? God, I hope so. Because Siri in Witcher 3 literally mentions Cyberpunk. Just putting it out there. Anyway, this is the Badlands. I've never been there. Couldn't tell you, but it looks awesome. This is how the Nomad story begins. It looks incredible. It looks just, sometimes when driving through California, this is what it looks like. So this is really neat.
It's the gig, Dex. You meant to come out in one piece?
That's T-Bug. That's your other teammate.
How about we go over the plan?
There's this prototype tech, a biochip to be precise.
There you go. The MacGuffin of the story. The MacGuffin, if you will.
Job's to grab it.
Guessing it belongs to a corp.
Arasaka.
We're robbing some heavy hitters.
This guy is a famed character from the world of Cyberpunk. I don't want to spoil too much, but this dude is big time trouble. Big time trouble. So, yeah. If you know who this is, awesome. I'm gonna...
Thought you could blackmail me, fucker?
That's one of the corporate ladies. Trouble.
Fucker.
High risk, high reward. First,
This is literally you. When you start as a corpo, this is the first scene. When you start as a corpo, this is literally the first scene. You puking in a bathroom. This is the first corpo scene.
risk, high reward. First rule of the afterlife. Ka-ching, baby.
Goes without saying.
This is clearly a shot of you flying. I don't know if this is the scene where you're in the corpo machine, but you are flying right now.
We do this on the hush. Ideally, no.
That right here, this shot where he throws you the stim, this is your first big mission in the game, is you are tasked with finding a woman who has been captured by some choppers or whatever they're called. Basically, they're people that are ripping out the mechanical body parts and selling them. And you go here to get her, and she's in a bathtub, and there's a bunch of ice, and you bring her out of the bathtub, and you can see that they censored the hell out of it, but this entire scene, this lady is full-on naked. And when you pick her up to take her out of the chop shop, there is like the lower third of your screen, there's straight up just a nipple the entire time. And it's not done for like sexiness. It's just because they're like, yo, we're trying to make it as realistic as possible. And I think that's super neat. I love that CDP don't give a shit. They're like, it's a naked lady, get over it. I love that. I love that they don't make a big deal out of it. It's not like no character mentions it or cares about it. It just exists, and you're like, cool. So I made it weird. Now. But but it's one of those things that I love that they don't. You know, it's not like, look, it's a naked lady. It doesn't matter. In the bathtub she's in, there's a naked dude as well. So you're going to have to get over that real quick. You might see some ding-dongs in this game too.
Ideally, no bodies. Not a one.
These guys right here. Let's see if I can show you. These dudes. These are corpo guys. These are sort of corporate hitmen. Something is clearly happening in this scene, but these are corporate guys.
No bodies.
This is... when you enter the chop shop, this is one of the dead people. You walk by her, and her whole insides are ripped out, and you can see they took out her eyeballs too.
Not a one.
And this is your team: Jackie, T-Bug, and Dexter.
Sounds simple enough.
Eat lead, assholes!
Does your team change depending on your faction or backstory? All of this is from the initial starting of the game. Like, this is the end of the initial starting mission. This guy right here is like the end boss. I didn't get to him because I was busy goofing around looking at stuff, but if you've seen the video that CDP put out, I think in 2019, maybe it's 2018, this is the final boss they show. So that exists online. You can go look at that. But this is the final fight of the starting missions. and he's like super armored and he's kind of a dick, but this group is the initial starting, like, we're teaching you how to play the game. Any word on customizing the bits? Oh, I mentioned it already. You can customize all right. But this is, who knows? I imagine this will change over the course of the game, obviously, right? Things will happen. You will learn about characters' motivations. You will meet new characters. Things will take place. All right. So back at it.
He's lit, assholes!
Is it gonna be dangerous?
That lady right there, I believe, is Jackie's sweetheart. The entire time in the game, he talks about going to go see his girl. He's like, I gotta go see my girl. So when you go off and do things, he's like, I'll be with my girl. I think that's her, but Jackie also flirts with everybody, so I don't know. Maybe he means my girl, he just means in general. I have no clue. Maybe he has a girl everywhere. I don't know. But every time you see him, he's like always flirting with a person. Someone was asking if there's censorship options. Great question. I do not know. I have no clue.
Don't you worry, mi amor. We're bulletproof. Get your ass moving now!
Yeah, that's the punching mechanic. This is when you're in the brain dance.
What the fuck just happened in
That guy murdered terribly. Don't come to a fight in a basketball jersey. Fact.
there?
Can't stop digging Night City.
Fucking Major Leagues. Happy now, Jackie?
Yep, that's fucking high! Time to bail!
Oh my god, we're so fucked.
Yeah, cyberpunk.
Dix, what the fuck?
Can't risk it, V.
And you, who are you?
Johnny Silverhand. So those of you who don't know, Johnny Silverhand is like, I don't want to say he's the main Cyberpunk character because that's not true, but he is huge in the mythos of Cyberpunk. Basically, Johnny Silverhand is a guy who was in the military, and he was in I think it was called like whatever the something American War. He basically was in like South America, and a bunch of atrocities were committed, and he was like, nah, man, I'm out. And so he leaves the military, he goes AWOL, and he decides to come back to Night City, and Google it quickly, Jesse, LOL. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what war he was in. All you need to know is that Johnny Silverhand leaves and goes to Night City to start anew, and he makes a band. And the band is called Samurai. And the Samurai band is like basically Rage Against the Machine, right? They're very political, and they're very like down with the man. And what ends up happening is they stage a concert outside one of the corporation headquarters, and I'm not sure how it goes down. I don't remember, but basically Johnny Silverhand goes missing, and I believe it's because they tried to like take down one of the big corporate guys. He goes missing and is declared dead, but no one knows if he's dead. No one knows what happened to him. No one knows like if this could be a cyber ghost of him. Nobody knows what happens to Johnny Silverhand. He vanishes, and in the like mean streets of Night City, there's spray paint and stuff of like, he lives, like that kind of thing. And so he's basically like a digital messiah, and people think that one day he'll come back and like save the day. What I did find out during our interview with CDP is that this isn't a remake or a reimagining. This is supposed to literally be the continuation of his story from the original Cyberpunk. So like from the 1998 tabletop Cyberpunk, this is the original story of like the continuation of his story. So I love that. I love that they aren't trying to retell it or remake it. It is literally the story continued. So I think that's amazing. Yeah, Cyberpunk. So that's it. That's the video. I'll leave you with this one last shot of me looking ridiculous. Thank you all so much for watching. This turned out much longer than I thought it would be, but that's what happens when you go through a video frame by frame. But thank you again. You guys are amazing. I'm so excited for this opportunity. Hopefully when you find me, you'll love it. And I will see you on release November 19th.
You know, where's the payoff?
Bring the strippers and booze.
We do occasionally talk about video games.
Bring the strippers and booze.
I don't have time for video games.
Bring the strippers and booze.
Oh, thank God, I don't need pants now.
Hey, JC, what are you doing? Not much. Making a fortune.
Yeah, now sing the music.
Bring the strippers and booze.
I'm here to ask and answer one simple question.
You